welcome to Middle Age Geeks. I'm one of your hosts, Phil, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Daz. Daz, how are you?
Pretty good. The week was going swimmingly until about 2 or 3 hours ago when I had to last minute get this fucking movie digested for this week's review. And my oh my.
I will.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, I will concur on that one. So it's a bad sign when the two of us are waiting till the last day to watch it, despite it being available to stream at home from the couch all week.
Yeah.
For those of you at home who don't know how the show works, our main part of our podcast is a movie review, which we'll do a spoilered and unspoilered version. And before that, we do run through on what's popped up for us in the news, geek-wise. And then we move on then to doing a little bit of what we've been playing and watching in the last week. So we'll start off with our news section. Daz, what jumped out at you this week? Anything in the gaming entertainment world?
The main thing that was all over IGN and every other game outlet was Concord, the PlayStation Studios hero shooter that they had just released. They cancelled it after 2 weeks. They just said, fuck it, it's not working. And Sony don't really release the numbers of people playing their games online. But over on Steam, they do. And the game on Steam had hit a high point throughout its 2 week run of 700 people playing it, which
Fuck, that
shocking.
is grim.
Like, put that in context. Yeah, Helldivers 2, had highs of 450, 500,000, like 500,000 compared to like 700 people playing it, which they're bewilderingly low numbers. And there was, like, the day before it was cancelled over on Steam, there was a high of, or not even a high, there just was, I think, about 85, 86 people playing it on the planet on Steam.
Fucking hell.
Which is, after 8 years in development.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Like,
it's a colossal failure.
Yeah.
Like, it really is. They've just shat the bed. But pulling it after 2 weeks is just, like, you really never see that. They obviously have gone into panic mode, and they said they're going to restructure it and replan it to see what's the best way to plan a re-entry for the game. But a lot of people had said online that it's because maybe they priced the game at €40, but which is like half the price of a normal kind of AAA game or first party game. But like, my understanding, like, €40 is fair enough, but it's going up against a lot of other games of the same ilk that are free-to-play games, microtransaction games, that it's free to play them, but you go on and then everything, like, a lot of the content is hidden or kept behind paywalls or battle passes and stuff like that, where it's free to play, but you need to play, pay for your skins, pay for this and extra content. And it's a shame that this failed because they were saying up front, it's €40 for the game, and we're going to give you a load of the free skins. You unlock them in game, and it's all free. And there's really, the production of the game is really good. There was great cutscenes for the story kind of content of it, even though it's like a multiplayer online game. But there's so many other games that came out free to play, like Overwatch and Destiny 2 and stuff like this, that are successes. But for every one of those games, there's 10 or 20 other games that they're released, and within a few months, the suits and the companies have made their money from the big surge at the beginning, and it just trails off and they fall into the ether. But like Destiny and Overwatch, have kept going for 7-8 years plus, and that's all well and good. But yeah, Sony just obviously panicked at the low numbers, but 8 years and hundreds of millions they've pumped into this game to pull it after 2 weeks. It's a massive shock.
Yeah, and I think that it's like, imagine working on it for fucking 8 years, being so proud of this, your baby, you put it out and it's screwed. But like, they had to have known, like, I mean, going into that market, that type of game, those team shooters, that most of them, almost all of them, are exclusively down as well, free to play. And the thing is, their numbers are so high because there's people who will, as they call them, dolphins and whales, whatever names they give to these people who will spend money on the game. They're the ones that make it free for everybody else. But you have to understand that a large amount of the huge numbers are going to be, they're going to be those free to play players that are going to be using your server, playing your game, and then they'll grind and they'll unlock and all that shit. You're not getting their money. What you're after, and like all those mobile games are after, are the whales. You're after the ones who will be on Candy Crush and it'll say, pay a $5 and you can get all your lives back, or 1,000 lives, or all these kind of things. Who will give you a shiny new, Batman suit for your fucking character in Fortnite or whatever the fuck it happens to be. And they're the ones that they're working off. They're the ones they want the money from, and that's how they generate it. And then the more people are playing it, the more word of mouth is out there. But if people can go and pick up a Marvel Alliance or like other games like that are all free to play, team based, that kind of stuff, if they can do that, why the fuck would they pay you when you're brand new IP? Why would they pay you 40 quid? So like I would hope for the people who've worked on it that they can do it as a free to play and just put in microtransactions for those people who want them, who want to have the pay their way to go a bit further or whatever, or get the new skins.
But it's a shame because when I played the beta, and it's not a mind blowing game, like it didn't get that much traction online in terms of like Helldivers did when it kind of came out, and it just hit the ground running, so to speak. But the game was solid, controlled really well, gun mechanics were fantastic. It had a kind of a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe, visual aesthetic, and it was pretty good. But obviously that €40 entry point is just, it doesn't work in that particular gaming genre.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Bummer. Yeah.
But
anything else?
The only other thing that actually caught yesterday was the Minecraft movie trailer came out, and I didn't even know this was happening. It stars I don't know if it stars anyone else. It's just got Jack Black written all over it.
I figured it'd just be Chris Pratt, seeing as though he seems to fucking voice everything that's brought into animation.
I think like Jack Black turns up in a movie review later on, but he seems to be turning into the Chris Pratt of movies. He seems to be in anything. But the trailer, like I've never played Minecraft. I understand, I know it's blocks and creating worlds with blocks, so it's kind of a group of kids that get magically transported to this world where everything is kind of blocks and trees and crazy. You've got like crazy square-headed sheep and all this stuff. And it's obviously just a teaser. It looks, I think, Jason Momoa is in it. I'm watching the trailer here. It just looks kind of a bit of fun for kids, but then Jack Black turns up, and I just saw there was some furore on fucking line about that he plays like some character Steve, who's like some nameless
he's your main guy, isn't
he?
The
game. Nameless. You don't kind of see him, but he turns up in very Jack Black, true to form, like
all right, okay.
So people are going, oh, for fuck's sake, you know what I mean? Do you need to Jack Black it up? But like Jack Black's into games, and he's I don't know if he plays Minecraft, but the trailer looks kind of fluffy, maybe fun for kids, but it's getting massive downvotes. People fucking hate the trailer, but people hate everything these days. So
indeed,
and that is that's pretty much all the news for this week. How about yourself?
A couple of things that I suppose one of them is one that I was hoping we could actually do for the show, and that's this Mike Flanagan, who I mentioned before. I'm a fan of, and he's doing loads of Stephen King stuff, but he has one coming out with and the early reviews are really positive, with Tom Hiddleston, called The Life of Chuck. I don't think it's horror. I think it's based on a small few story, like a shorter story that someone did about I think he did like 3 days in the life of this dude over the span of whatever amount of time. And like I think that the fucking cast is really good. Like he's got his usual kind of people that he always he casts his, like Flanagan casts his wife in absolutely everything. So she's in a bunch of others. Chiwetel Ejiofor. It's just a really solid cast, and it looks like a bit of fun. But I decided not to watch any sort of trailer or read anything about it, because I want to go in cold into it. But I think it's out in the States this week, and the early reviews are really positive, so we could maybe look into doing that.
Absolutely.
And the other one, I'm not sure if you've watched the trailer this week for The Wolfman.
No.
So this one looks cool as well, because it's Blumhouse, with Julia Garner in it, who seems to be in shitloads at the moment.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, but it's Lee Winnell, whose name I'm probably pronouncing wrong, is directing. and he's only directed a few things like Invisible Man and Upgrade, which we both love.
Mm.
But he's the writer of Saw, the first Saw movie, of Insidious. He's wrote, writ, and starred in both of those movies. So he's got like a good handle on that genre. So I'd be keen to go and check that out. I think it's a fairly self-contained movie. Like when I had a look at the cast list, the cast
Yeah.
has like fucking 7 or 8 people or something listed so far for it, and so it looks like it's going to be fairly contained. Probably, I don't know how scary, probably, hopefully it'll just be more of a kind of what's going on kind of thing. But I guess it's fucking pretty standard. Some dude turns into a wolf. That's fucking it's just what kind of story do they tell around it. But it
Yeah,
yeah,
that sounds like could be fun.
yeah. But but apart from that, no, I've nothing else new this week. It's the same as our next section, which we can move on to now. I have nothing for this section either. I played or watched this week. I've only rewatched stuff, and I've like rewatched older stuff and played older games. I have nothing new, and the only stuff I did kind of watch that was new to me isn't geek related. I watched a 3-part documentary yesterday on that psycho bitch fucking Jodi Arias. She killed her fella. It's like from like 15 years ago. It was a big huge case about it, but just the ins and outs.
Was she a
geek?
Like,
No. She was just a dickhead, but or is a dickhead. I assume she's still alive. But no, nothing new for me. I've just been rewatching a bunch of older stuff. Something queues up on Netflix. I'll watch a horror movie and it queues up. Fucking whatever the next. Yeah, fuck, I'll watch that. So I've watched a bunch of movies that I've seen in the past, but I've nothing new to report this week. What about you?
Watched wise, well, I tried to watch Borderlands. I think it was 5 times in the end. I watched the first 5 minutes 3 times because, we'll get to that. So I couldn't really watch anything else because trying 5 minutes of Borderlands just put me off going near the fucking TV in terms of movies. I was just watching tennis on TV. The US Open is on. But playing wise, shocker, I've been playing more Star Wars Outlaws, and I fucking love it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. I was dying to fucking text you, just go, oh man, I don't know what's going on here, but I really like this. I really like this game. I'm like, when I'm not playing it, I'm just dying to get back into the world to start playing it. I'm just kind of going, this is really taking me by surprise. And it's things people really haven't touched on too much. It's like the sense of place. It's a weird one, like where you're existing in this. Like I'm not that much of a Star Wars fan, but obviously I know the movies and know a bit about it. But existing in that world, and the fact that things are going on with the Empire and stuff, but you're not part of that main story. You're just like scoundrel fucking going around doing jobs for different factions and stuff. And the main story hasn't really taken off yet. But I'm just like cruising around on my speeder bike doing little fucking jobs to try and please this faction while pissing off someone else. And one of the main quests I did was just like I finally got my ship, and then like it does the thing that Starfield didn't do, where you just get into your ship and then you just fly up. And it's kind of like a cutscene, but it seems you just fly up and just go through, and then you're in space, and it's like like they're hiding loading screens behind something, obviously, but it's just a cool little thing. And then like there was some Imperial space station that we had to infiltrate, and the stealth aspect. And this part where I was going, Phil would really like this because there's a main issue with the game where there are some insta fails when you mess up a stealth quest.
Yeah,
and in other scenarios like this Imperial space station, if you mess up, like they're all alerted to you and they just blow the shit out of you, so you can fail anyway. But that just makes it more tense because you're kind of going right and sneaking up behind this guy, and you're going, oh, can I make it around that fucking corner, or will I wait just to see if he is going to turn when I think he's going to turn, that kind of stuff. And some of the AI is a bit shoddy and stuff, but that mission alone was about 40 minutes sneaking around this base, and it was riveting. I thought it was absolutely fucking brilliant. Just
because I'd seen some video, like I watched a video of someone playing it on YouTube, or was it Twitch? I can't remember. Anyway, and they were hiding in like we can hide in like the tall grass kind of
Mm.
thing, and they're hiding in this patch of grass or behind the show, and they jump up and they kill someone, and people get alerted, and their little red icon comes up. And then they just crouch back down again, and the lads all come over, and they're walking right past it, and they're shooting around, and they're like, "Where the fuck has she gone? Where is she gone?" And then they kind of go to yellow, and they walk away,
Yeah.
and another guy comes over, and she kills him back into the grass, and they're back over again. A whole lot of them
Yeah,
going,
yeah, yeah.
"Oh, if only we could figure out, where she is." And they're standing on top of her. I was like Jesus Christ, though.
There are moments of that where, like, yeah, I have killed somebody and then seen two other people that I thought were alerted, so I just fucked a grenade launcher over beside them and killed them. And it's like, oh, sweet. Big giant explosion, set off a couple of barrels and everything. It was sneaking in. It's like, I think I got everyone. And then I just turned around to my left and it's just some other dude, bad guy, just standing there, like, looking around. You didn't hear
One deaf employee.
Yeah, you're deaf and blind, and what the fuck? But there's not too many of those kind of game breaking or kind of it doesn't break the feel of it too much. But yeah, and surprisingly in Series S, it doesn't look as good as the Series X or PlayStation or PC. But it's not bad. Once you get out of the first kind of few missions and see the world, you're just like, oh, this is not too bad. It's running at 30 FPS and HD, but yeah, it doesn't really matter too much. But I'm really, really, really enjoying it. But yeah, it doesn't look too bad on my TV when it's kind of far away. Because something happened to my TV the other day, and it was, I asked my daughter, like, did you hit the TV with a stick? And she's like, no. And it's like, well, okay. And she's like, no, I didn't. It's just like, no, that's okay, because one half the TV is slightly darker than the other half now. Just, I don't know what's happening. I think it's a backlight issue, but it's kind of fine like during the day. But then I play all my gaming at night, and it's very obvious that like. One half of the world that I'm going around on my speeder has just got sunshine, the other half's in fucking shade. So that's quite interesting.
Your telly.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. Just like get another fucking few inches on that wall. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just loving Outlaws, and I will say I'm loving it up. Probably because I paid like €15 for it with that Ubisoft Premium Plus. If I paid 80 quid, would I like it as much? I don't know, but yeah. Fucking cool game, man. Everyone's wrong about this. Everyone is wrong.
All right. Good man. Going against the flow. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, look, with both those sections out of the way, quicker than we usually do, why don't we move on then to our movie review, which is 2024's Borderlands, directed by Eli Roth, and Daz is going to take us through that. So, Daz, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Thank you very much. So yeah, after us humming and hawing about this for quite some time and joking when we saw Trap and saying we should have seen Borderlands because Trap was so bad, and The Crow was pretty bad as well, and then along comes Borderlands, and just start with a before we get into it, probably the only positive is that I didn't see this in the cinema. That's probably the only positive. Like when we kind of go through it, it's directed by Eli Roth, written by Eli Roth and Joe Crombie, starring Cate Blanchett, Kevin Hart, and Edgar Ramirez, who I had to get his name, the bad guy Atlas, who's one of the worst actors I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. It's unbelievable, but it's an atrocious movie. I'm trying to find where we did where the they're here. Yeah. Here's the synopsis that I think they're punching above their weight with the writers on this synopsis. Based on the best-selling video game, and this all-star action adventure follows a rag team of misfits on a mission to save a missing girl who holds the key to unimaginable power. Now, like most bad movies, like with Madam Web and all these other movies, most movies will you'll get some kind of joy out of the kind of misery of watching it. No, you get to chat with it with your mate, but this is one of those where you're just like, oh my god, like, is this review going to be 5 minutes fucking long? This movie was up. I'll get into my thoughts on the movie. What were your thoughts on the movie?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, spoiler free. It's shit. It got the thing that was upsetting was watching some actors, like actors of the caliber that are in this movie, spouting the dialogue that they've been given was genuinely upsetting. Like
Yeah.
it had me wondering. I'm looking at going, are these putting in? Is this a bad Kate Blanchett performance, or is it just that she's got so little to work with? You know, and it's absolutely awful. Like, and I know from people, I won't. I'll just be upfront about it. Like I've played the games, but
Mm.
most of the time I'd be playing it and we'd have music on in the background, like when I was playing
Yeah.
couch co-op, on the first and second one, and then when we were playing the Turbine online, we were just talking about football and shit the whole way
Yeah.
through. I don't pay attention to the story in a Borderlands game because
Mm.
they're pretty thin. But this one, it seems that they've just taken the characters, but they haven't related, from the game, but they haven't done anything with regards to the plot. There's no plot related to the game, from what
Yeah.
I can gather.
Yeah, I didn't know really anything about the plot of the game. I mean, I know there's Lilith because she's obviously very striking in the game, the red hair and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And obviously there was a lot of backlash when the casting came out, and it's Kate Blanchett and everyone else is Jamie Lee Curtis and all these people in it. But Kate Blanchett, I'm massive fan of Kate Blanchett. She'd be top 5 actress for me. But she is to say she's miscast. It's not even that she's miscast because she doesn't look like someone who's in her 50s or anything in this movie. She looks kind of tired and bored, and that could be down to she had to fucking make it. Less than like, oh, she's I don't think people are saying like, oh, she's too old and she looks labored and all this, their movement and all this stuff. But she doesn't have to do anything in this movie. It's not like people said it should have been somebody up and coming in their 20s, someone who could fly around, all the action scenes. What action scenes? Like at one point, there's an action scene in this movie that like it's from the trailer when the car arrives around the corner, she just jumps up in a barrel and just fires 3 rounds or whatever and blows up the truck or whatever, and that's the action scene. That's it. You're just going, wow, that was a 15-second action scene. I mean, I don't think Kate Blanchett, I don't think her age or anything like that has any problem, but everyone in this movie are, I think, woefully miscast. But it's hard to know, as you were saying, are they really just miscast, or is there, if this was a Uwe Boll movie or Uwe Boll, whatever his name, you kind of go, okay, yeah, this it's appallingly directed, whatever. But Eli Roth, I mean, I'm not that much of a, I don't know if couldn't say that I'm that much of a fan, but I haven't seen that much of it. I've seen Hostel, and I've seen Grindhouse that he did back in the day, but I haven't seen a lot of the kind of horror stuff that he does. But he seemed like a pretty competent director back then. Like, what's his more recent stuff?
Yeah,
is he terrible?
I don't know. Like I haven't Hostel for me when I first watched it was real. It was the shock of it, because we haven't seen anything quite like that in a while. And I mean, real shock. Like obviously there was horrors that were fucking banned, from the 70s and 80s because they were so so tough. Like I Spit on Your Grave and stuff like that, where you just these were horrific jokes. But this was this torture porn thing, that we started to see in the Saw movies. From what was really a really self-contained script, and the first one became just torture porn, and that's what his thing was. And it was shocking. And so the first one, I was kind of like, oh yeah, I can kind of see it again, like the movie we did last week. It's rich white guys, basically paying money to go and do horrible things to women, or dudes. But it was just it. I haven't seen that much of his stuff. I've seen a few of his movies, but I become less of a fan when people start saying you see something like presented by Eli Roth, or he has some sort of writing or executive produced. That automatically for me is this isn't good. Like this is not going to be good.
When you see that on trailers or posters or something like that, and you just know that has been put there by them, right? From the visionary director of fucking Home Alone 2. It's just like, what are you talking about? Yeah, but what I was thinking,
hang on. What's wrong with Home Alone 2?
Sorry.
All right, don't be slagging off Home Alone 2.
Yeah, I was trying to think of Hostel 2. I don't know. But yeah, from the visionary director, Home Alone 2, yeah, it's a good movie. I mean, like visionary director,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
from the
I understand.
amazing studio that brought you Jumanji 2. This kind of yeah, people just overemphasizing somebody's work. Like, but I was I was thinking like I've only like my notes. You'd think with a bad movie like that notes would be easier. That you're just like, oh yeah, just fucking hitting the notes, not really paying attention. But some of my notes are just they're just shocking. Just one line where I got bored writing the fucking note, and because sometimes if you're writing, if you're kind of going, okay, I'll just write something about this scene. Sometimes I have to pause the scene. I just could not put any more time into this fucking movie. I just it's baffling. Like there's nothing going for it. There's nothing where you're kind of going, oh, like Madam Web, like Rebel Moon. All that this movie makes those movies look like 3-star, 4-star movies with so many talking points. Like just straight off the bat, the inconsistency of the visual effects in this movie. Oh, but yeah, I must say, $115 fucking million
Yeah.
this cost. Just like what? Like, I don't understand it. Like there are some nice parts, where there's a nice kind of camera pan down into through a city, and you're going on some of the sets where they actually kind of fucking built something. Just like, oh, that kind of looks cool. Just that kind of vibe with kind of neon lights in a kind of bar or
Yeah,
something like that. It's just like, yeah, that's cool because you built the set, and the people who built the set know what they're doing, and you paid them well. We paid them too much because we paid 150 million fucking quid. But some of the visual effects are just go from kind of substandard to shocking. Like towards the end, some of the fucking stuff towards the end
Oh,
is
towards the end was like there's a part with Kate Blanchett, and it was almost like what they did with Neo, in when he fought all the Agent Smiths, and you're like,
yeah.
when it cuts from real Keanu Reeves to fake
God.
Keanu Reeves, and you can see his face here and come the fuck on. Like nobody's
Yeah.
believing that's the same thing.
It's photorealistic, baby.
Yeah.
Like it is fucking not.
No, and there's a little bit of that. But I thought what effects did look really cool, and probably my only good part of the whole movie is there's one part where they have to disguise themselves, and they have holographic masks, and they look fucking cool. Because I was looking at them going, oh man, like that'd be something like you want to wear to a festival or whatever. And they look cool. They might have been in the trailer. But that's they're in it for all of 10 seconds.
Like everything in this movie, every time there's something where you're going, oh, that kind of looks cool. Straight away, there's something that's just bafflingly shocking to just drag you right down to the depths of hell where this movie resides. But like that thing with those digital masks. Like just before that, Kevin Hart says something to the effect of like we need to lay low and kind of blend in. Then they cut to that and they're wearing the mask, but they're the only people wearing the masks.
Yes,
just sticking out. No one else is wearing the mask. We're just like we need to lie low key. Just like okay, yeah. But
maybe we should just get into
spoiler. Like spoiler warning or whatever. Like no one should see this film. If you saw this film, shame on you.
I go like if we were doing half stars, I'd go half a star.
Yeah,
but we'll just give
it a 1
half
because,
and 1.
People turned up to do their job. But yeah, spoiler wise, let's just get into it. Like we're not going to go through scene by scene and stuff like this because it bore myself to fucking tears. But one of the pet hates with movies is when it opens with a voiceover that just explains the whole world to you. Like Lilith's voiceover explaining all the ancients and this, and there's a key, and it's the only daughter of Iridian can open this vault, and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, fucking hell, just start the movie and just explain this to us through the movie. Give us something to kind of go, oh, what's that? And we'll maybe find out in a scene or two. Stuff like that. And she just explains all that. And then we get introduced to Kevin Hart, who, like, I kind of love him and I hate him. But he's always just Kevin Hart, and in a movie like this, it just doesn't really work.
Do you think that scene where they're introduced, do you think that that's a genuine homage to Star Wars: A New Hope, or do you think it was just a straight rip off? Because that's exactly what it is. He shows up, he's wearing the helmet. He's like, I'm here to rescue you. And she says something, and she's like, my father sent you. He's like, she sent this shortest soldier. Just like fucking
Yeah,
Star
yeah,
Wars shows up, aren't you? A little short to be a stormtrooper.
yeah.
Pulls the helmet off, and exactly the same. And
Absolute blatant
I
rip
was
off.
like, are they? I wasn't sure because I was like, is he trying to be genuine here, or is he just ripping it off? And I was like, there's no even reason to have a Star Wars reference in this. Do you
No.
know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. It was, but straight away I was like, is he ripping off fucking 50-year-old movie? You're like,
Yeah.
fuck off. Yeah. So you had me for the moment one. I was like disgruntled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck this movie. Yeah, Kevin Hart is there to break out Tina, and they do so in it. Yeah, it's that like some of the worst parts of this movie are when it's obviously just a really, and for 150 million fucking dollars, really cheap little sets. Like in the prison, when they
Yeah.
break him out, and it's just a little white kind of fucking corridor, and it's just, and later on it's a bit in the sewers, and it's just, it might as well be the same fucking corridor with some gates and some grime put on the walls. It's like fucking hell, like because some of the when they cut to the wide shots of a planet or something, when they're doing their Guardians rip off, where it's just like, oh, here's cool music and a planet shot and the text and stuff. Some of those visuals look okay, and even some of the music choices for about 3 seconds, you're just like, oh yeah, this is kind of nice, and then the movie comes back again, and just like, oh
Yeah,
fucking
like they've
hell,
got like Motorhead,
yeah,
Muse. I was really angry that they used. I love the Black Keys, and they used the Black Keys tune in it. But like, so yeah, some of the soundtrack is great, but yeah, used in strange situations. And if anything, you just go, just enjoy the music. Just show us some
yeah.
aerial views. Keep the music on. Don't bring us back to this
Yeah,
tragedy of a movie.
yeah, just play out the whole song. It'd just be fucking great. You get an extra star. But like then we're introduced to Lilith, and she's in a bar, and she's approached by some dude who is Atlas to find his missing daughter.
And
And
isn't this so awkward though? Like the whole thing lead up to this, the dialogue is horrific. Like she's leading in, she can see her, she has a prisoner with a
yeah,
bag over his head, and his
mm,
arms are like chained behind his back. And he's asking for something like "let me go" or say something, and she goes, "Shut up, or I'll break your other arm."
yeah,
And then he's like, he should be terrified for his life, and he goes, "No, no, one arm's good. That sounds fine to me." Like, why is he fucking banging on jokes? Like he knows she's got a fucking
it's
bag over his head. He's most likely on his way to get killed, and he's cracking jokes, and it was really awkward as well, like awkward dialogue.
it's written
Delivered,
by
yeah,
it's written by a fucking 12-year-old, and like before she meets Atlas, we get like just one of these shots where people approach Lilith at the bar, and she just turns around, she kills like 4 or 5 people at once, and it's just everything just looks so, not just subpar, but it just looks fucking cheap. It just nothing like this very, I'd say rare, if at all, during this movie did I ever go, ooh, fucking hell, that's cool. You'd expect just
yeah,
one, like Zack Snyder, fan of the show. Even in his movies, Rebel Moon, we tore to fucking pieces. There's still bits where you kind of go, that's a fucking cool shot, or something, or a cool bit of
yeah.
music, or something, or hilariously misused slow mo, something to engage you. But in this, yeah, it's awful. What did you think of Atlas? Because I think this guy is abysmal.
Yeah, like I know him from a couple of things. Like I'm pretty sure that's him from the, is it the girl in the train or one of those movies he was
Mm,
in, the one with Haley Bennett, who is actually in this movie as well as flashbacks
yeah,
to Kate Blanchett's mum. And that's all I kind of know about. Like I recognize his face the minute when he came up, but no, like his performance was bad, right? But it was also kind of pointless. Like I get into it more now as we go along, but I didn't understand the whole point of this mission. And so I'll wait till we move on a bit before we go
mm.
into it. But it's just,
We'll move on quickly.
yeah, yeah, okay,
We get to the guts of it. But yeah, so we find out she's on Pandora. So we cut to Pandora, which is a shithole, and Lilith is from there. But again, this is, we'll skip on. Like, I'm not going to go through scene by scene, but there's certain moments I just have to draw attention to. And this is like, I couldn't believe this part was happening when Lilith gets to Pandora, and she's walking around, and she's looking for the girl, and she approaches some like scavenger kids and stuff. with a picture to show her. But she narrates exactly what's happening on screen. Just like, I met these kids and just asked them if they'd seen, blah, blah, blah. And just like, I said, yeah, we know. I can see that. That's exactly what you're doing now. It's like, oh my God. It's like someone showing a montage and somebody narrating the montage for you. And then Rocky did this and he punched this bag. And then, what the fuck is
Yeah.
going on? That was just, I rewound that a few times to make sure I hadn't got it wrong. That just blew my fucking mind. That's an example of the writing, like we're told so many times about the daughter can open the vault, numerous times during the movie. If anyone else wasn't paying attention, the daughter of Iridian is the only person that can open the vault, and they tell you that fucking 4 or 5 times. But yeah, that action scene from the trailers here, where literally the cart just arrives and some fucking raiders jump out, and she just blows it up straight away, and that's it. And then she hitches a ride,
But
and some of the
but that
VFX
yeah
in some of these scenes is
that
fucking really, really bad.
but
Whenever it
that
shows, yeah. Sorry.
that hitching the ride thing, when she gets
Mm.
on the bus, that's so video gamey, isn't it? It's
Yeah, yeah.
so the bus driver he is in the first game, and he's one. I think he's the guy who brings you out your first your mission,
Yeah.
whatever. What the fuck? I can't remember what his name is in it, but the it's so like if they're trying to make it like a video game experience. The way he talks to you, is real. I
Yeah.
have goods to sell.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
real,
yeah.
just awkward fucking NPC talk. And it's just, again, it's just, if you've said you're not lifting story and stuff in the video game, why are you pulling out characters and trying to make it video gamey if you're not going to follow what the video game was?
Mm.
It's just
Because it doesn't hit at all, even for
no.
people who played the video game and like video games and really want to support video game to screen, adaptations, where you're doing this with this character, and it's like he calls her a vault dweller, or not vault dweller, vault hunter, and she keeps on telling me like I'm not a vault hunter, whatever, and he's not paying attention. You get that kind of like he's just almost on loop, just calling you
Yeah.
whatever he wants. But if you're going to do that, you gotta double down on that and really go with that. That's just literally somebody
And not
going,
have him be the only one that does it. Like,
yeah, someone kind of going, oh, let's get a video game reference in, and someone goes, well, there's a thing in the first game, yeah, stick him in there. It's just like, what the fuck? Because when she gets, there's a shot where she gets out of that van and she's walking, and it's like 1990s motion tracking of the background when she's walking. Like you can see where like the entirely is green screen around her. Pretty much, she doesn't exist in there at all. It's just so fucking poorly done. And then I think that's when we meet Claptrap. What were your thoughts on?
We Claptrap after she gets off the bus, I think.
Yeah.
And this is Jack Black.
Yeah, she finds out Tina's gone. She finds her hideout, but she's gone from there. So we meet Claptrap then, the mono-wheeled robot, voiced by the one and only Jack Black. What were your thoughts on this dude?
Yeah, I'm actually, I was or am. I kind of fluctuate back and forth in Jack Black. Some stuff I do like him from. I've always thought, he's a great musician, and I've liked a lot of his comedy. But then sometimes he does something that really pisses me off. But in this, I just didn't enjoy the performance. Like I know, like Claptrap in the game, he's a funny, extra,
really funny.
Like that. Yeah, and I mean, it's got. The game is fun. I mean, those games are funny anyway. I mean, they're so ridiculous and they're good fun. But I don't know, I didn't find his performance funny. Like at one point he's shitting out bullets because he's being shot. You see the trailer, he gets shot full of bullets and he's like shitting them out or something. And it was just like, why? Why was that needed?
How
You know what I mean? And he's making poo jokes.
It's just like, what are you talking about?
What? I'm expelling the excess lead. Oh, big bullet coming. What?
Yeah, it's just, I just thought it was too zany. It was too wacky,
Yeah, because there are a few moments when the dialogue that's said, it's not, it didn't get a chuckle, but you're kind of going, that you recognize that could have been funny if the preceding like hour hadn't taken place. Just like, it's too Jack Blacky, like when Jack Black did Bowser, when that was cast, you're just going, fucking hell, is that going to be too zany? But it worked because whatever way he just kind of, it was a mix of Bowser and Jack Black, and it's in the Super Mario world where you can go fucking nuts anyway. But with this, it was very much just like, oh, that's Jack Black trying to be funny, like.
Yeah, and I think that like you said, some of the stuff he comes out with would have worked. Like he's not massive. He's obviously not massive fan of Lilith, even though he's kind of with her, traveling along with her, and so when the jabs that he makes at her and stuff, later on, like, oh, it'd be horrible if you all happen to get killed,
Yeah.
the little jabs he makes at her. If they kept that as his thing, that he's helping them begrudgingly when really he doesn't like them, and just digs at them, like you see from Tars and thing from Interstellar, making jokes at Coop's expense, or K2SO, 3SO, whatever his name is from Rogue Squadron, and his digs and his digs at Felicity Jones, and that's what I would have liked. They had to give him that kind of character, make him funny but like pissed off, whereas he was just this zany character cranking out jokes, and they weren't working. I wasn't a fan at all.
No, just didn't work. But anyway, they kind of reluctantly team up, and they go to where Tina's staying, and they find her, and Tina I didn't like her either.
I don't know her for anything else. Like, I know, obviously I know the character Tiny Tina is, but I don't know is that Ariana Greenblatt or something is her name? I don't know her from anything else. Is she a singer, or is she something that...
have not a clue. I just thought she's really bad. I don't know if she's a bad actress or anything, but she's not very good in this. She's just... Sometimes when people write, like the whole thing is about... For most of the movie, it's about her, and they're trying to save her, protect her, because...
Yeah.
Shakar, like, she's the key, but she's just fucking annoying. I just don't know why people write those characters like that. She's supposed to be kind of sassy and cool and stuff, but she's just she comes across as a bit of a dickhead. And then when she has some kind of tender moments with Lilith later on in the movie, they don't really hit because I didn't really care about her to begin with. So
yeah,
like if you made her less of a fucking dickhead, I might empathize a bit more when we get to those sections. Yeah, but
can I actually ask about this, right? Because because this is some part I'm confused on, so hopefully you can fill me in.
I probably won't be able to.
But Atlas is your man. He's the main guy. It's his corporation. It's his fucking... He's saying it's his daughter who wants rescued, and he's sending her into Pandora because she's such a badass bounty hunter. Go and get them, right? But at the same time, his whole army, commanded by Knox, who is Janina Gavankar, I think in this she's like the daughter of General Knox from the games. She's got the whole Atlas army, right? So why are you sending fucking Kate Blanchett if you're already sending them? And if you are sending them, why are they actively trying to kill the girl and everybody in their car? Like they're speeding away later on. They're chasing, they're firing missiles, guns, they're trying to blow it up. I was like, why did you send your whole army and then just send her as well at the same time? Did they explain that?
No, I don't think so at all. Because later on they said there was a tracking, wasn't there some kind of tracking device that
he gives to Kate Blanchett.
Yeah, she broke, and then Claptrap fixes it again. And she says, and it was, I guess, a bit of a funny thing. She goes, like, did you turn it on? And he says, no. Why do you want me to turn it on again? And you're kind of like, and then, but that alerts Atlas to their location. And just like, but doesn't your whole fucking army know where they are? It's just, I didn't really understand that part. But yeah, we'll get into that. Anyway, look, Tina, if we haven't, if people, I don't know if we've said, Tina is his daughter, by the way, just in case anybody wasn't following along.
That's what we're sold at the start of the barrack. Like, Kate Blanchett's like, no, I'm not interested in your mission. I hate Pandora. Well, I'll pay you shitloads if you go and get my daughter.
Exactly.
That's it.
So then, but that's when, Tina turns up in her hideout and throws some exploding bunnies at Lilith. And when they get out, there's a little chase sequence, and the visual effects in this are just... Oh, they're so horrendous. Just like she's kind of chasing her, and they're jumping up on top of her kind of trailer hideout, and it's like watching, the pass by of Titanic when they show the whole fucking ship, and you're just like, oh, look at the marvel of the ship or whatever. But you look at the people, and the people are just kind of floating around, this like basic late 90s digital kind of puppets. That's what this looked like at few of these moments were just like, if I was more invested in the movie, this is the kind of stuff that would take you out of the movie. But almost this had the inverse reaction, where it brought me more into the movie, because I was just like, oh my god, how fucking bad does this thing look? I'll just check the budget again, you know. And then Tina's bodyguard appear and they fight. What's the body? Krieg is his name. The guy,
Krieg,
the masked guy.
He's your man who played Drago's son in the Creed movies.
Oh fuck yeah, cool.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's
monster of a dude.
Yeah. So big, huge fucking dude, and I mean, I'm not even sure if that's his voice that they use for him, because he's German, I think, that dude. So I'm not sure if that's
his voice. The voice is so fucking annoying as well. Yeah, they have a fight, and that's atrocious as well. And that's when this army, this Crimson Lance, appear, dressed like fucking Red Power Rangers or something. It's so bad. Yeah, and then Tina again throws one of her bunnies at them, and kind of blows up your one Knox or whatever, and then they have a little chase sequence. But at that moment, the script just writes out the rest of the army for about 2 minutes. Just like, where are they? The rest of them are gone. Then they eventually come back, but Kevin Hart arrives just in time to save them in his van, and then we get the wonderful trailer scene of them smashing through this giant monster, and it's just as bad as the trailer.
Yeah, and they cut out a bit from the trailer as well. You see a bit of the dialogue.
Yeah,
it's like in the trailer they're going through and the place is called, I don't know what, Piss Wash Gully or something like that.
Yeah, that wasn't in it.
And they're going to, and they say Piss Wash Gully and there's stuff, but when she has her window rolled down and this piss obviously flies in, and he's like, "What did I tell you?" And she says in the trailer, "Oh, it's in my mouth," and makes this big like fucking thing. And that was actually a funny part in the trailer, because the way her reaction was, and they went, "No, take that out, fuck that." That was actually genuinely funny in the trailer. I got a laugh out of it.
That was
the reaction to it. But she's like, "No, we'll take that out. We can't have people enjoying themselves."
It's Pete. It's Pete. Why do you think it's called Piss Wash? How did I get the name? It's in my mouth.
Yeah. And they took that part out. It was like all the parts that you could have cut from this movie. I probably would have left that one in.
Good part in that scene. But yeah, some monster comes out of the ground. They literally drive into its mouth, firing a few rockets ahead of them, and rockets explode out the back, and the van comes out and lands again, and it's like fucking the shoddiest visual effects you'll ever see. Just, I don't know what it is, visual effects, when you see, like, they can do some absolutely astounding things, all these companies. But just having a wide shot with just a car driving on a road, it's just like, what? Why can't you do that? And a lot of movies have that problem. I don't understand.
As on that car thing, so they drive up. He hits the boosters, and they're driving towards that big monster as the monster opens its mouth, and you see it in the trailer. Why is there a pause? Like, they fire the rockets. The whole idea should be the rockets hit, explode a hole, and the car goes through the hole. But the car goes in, and the thing swallows them. And then there's a pause before there's an explosion. The car goes out. If there's that much of a pause, there's no trajectory, because now explosion has happened. The car's here. It's just going to fall down. There's no trajectory anymore. There's no reason for that pause to be there. It's like, because Jesus, lads, it's like, the car comes so out, basic. Like,
I don't know if it's in the trailer they just show the explosion, but the car comes out. It's going faster than the rockets were. It's just like straight up in the air and just lands obviously perfectly, and just going. There's no point giving out about the lack of stakes in this or anything, because it's just fucking nonsense from start to end. But we find out then afterwards that Kevin Hart, what's his name, Roland, saved Tina at the beginning, because he knows about the vault, and he knows that she is the key to get into the vault. But to get into this vault, they need a vault expert. I think that's what she is, Jamie Lee Curtis. And that's when we get to that scene where they kind of go, "Oh, we need to lay low, put on our digital masks, and stick out like a sore thumb." But yeah, those digital masks were very, very fucking cool. But then they and at this point, they get to Moxie's bar, something like that.
Mad Moxie from the games.
So I was like, she's like, okay, she sits down with Lilith, the one who owns the bar, says, this is how you get to the vault expert. She goes, you go up this stairs, and then you turn, and then there's a lift, and then you go into the lift and you give the password Echo, and, and that's it. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's built up as like, how are they going to get to her? Like, where is it based? And so they go around a corner, and there's a lift there, and Lilith press the button, goes echo. A few times it doesn't work, and then Tina, who is a fucking genius, goes, "Oh, maybe it's you got to say the word echo and make an echo." So she goes echo, 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 and the lift opens. At that point, if I had popcorn, I would have fucked it at the screen. Just like, fuck off. That is nonsense. Like, that's the stupidest thing. It's not clever. It's not witty. Makes no fucking sense. And why is it that hard? Like, they're not breaking into fucking anything. It's just like, how do I get into my friend's apartment? Oh, you just press a button and go up the stairs. But there's a really weird fucking echo password thing. It's just, yeah. And then they go up, and we are introduced to Jamie Lee Curtis, who, bless her, she's in the wrong movie, but like Everything Everywhere All at Once, in this she just looks, she's having a fucking blast, and doesn't really, especially in this one, she doesn't really give a shit. She's just like,
I genuinely think, even though she doesn't have the biggest part, she was probably my favorite performance in this movie, because she doesn't have to go mad over the top hero stuff. She does have a good bit of babble and backstory and filling in gaps and stuff, but for the most part, I actually thought she was grand in this. I think she was probably, which is grand, is the level that I've said is the best possible thing. She was
grand. Give her an award.
Yeah.
But she, and we find out that, what is Jamie Lee Curtis's name? What is her name?
It's like it's Tanis. That's it. Yeah.
Tanis and Lilith, obviously have some beef. We find out she was meant to take care of her after her mother died, I think, but she ran off to try and find the vault and left Lilith to be raised by fucking, I don't know who she was raised by, scoundrels or raiders or something like that.
Who cares?
Yeah. But try to get into the meat of the backstory here, it's just so fucking, it's layered and layered and layered. And then Lilith and Tina then like have a scene, and they're trying to build this kind of bond between them, and it just doesn't fucking work at all. And Tina's trying to tell the backstory of just like her dad Atlas found some bit of blood, so he engineered and made Tina with that blood because she'd be the last daughter thing. And like, how the fuck is that going to work if it only works for the actual last donor? He get a little bit of blood and just make another daughter?
Jurassic Park, I think. Yeah, I think he'd watched Jurassic Park. And he said,
work for John Hammond.
He said, work there, we'll grow in the lab. This is going to be fucking no problem.
Oh, fuck me.
But yeah, he grew this chick from a drop of blood.
Yeah.
He said, she'll be the key. And the thing is there any explanation as to why, like, if she's been locked up this whole time, which we assume that she has been, how is she a 12-year-old unstable weapons expert? Because she's crafting bombs, grenades out of the teddy bears and rabbits, and she fucking knows how to use bazookas. Like, she is completely streetwise. She knows what's going on. She can fight. It was like, she's apparently been locked up in a fucking lab. Like, she should be not know what's going on in the outside world, but she's fucking cracking jokes. She's making all these different slang that why would she even know that? She's got her own little style. It makes fucking no sense at all.
It's nonsense. Yeah, it's nonsense. So we find out, we're told again here, you know that the only person to open the vault is the daughter. It's just like, I fucking know. Just stop telling me. Because Lilith and Tina, like, if you're writing this fucking movie, the movie should be based on, and I think they try and base it around their relationship and their bond towards the end. It's just like, and it just doesn't work at all because it's abysmal. Anyway, the Crimson guys arrive at the Moxis bar, and our lads escape. It's like in these little garbage containers. That the whole army arrives in this fucking in the street. They say, "Clear the street! Everyone off the street!" People just pushing these two garbage things down the road. They just let them past. It's like, come on, man. Come on. And they escape, and it's just no stakes because everything works out for these guys. It's brilliant. And then they have to go into a sewer. I don't know why they need to go to a sewer to get a second key or some shit like that. And there's a moment in here, like, this is one of those moments where they're trying to put it a bit like kind of poignancy and showcase a bit of character to Tina, where they're in the sewers and she looks down, she sees like a red, plant growing out of the concrete in the sewers, and she's like, "Oh, see, hope thrives, in the strangest places." And then Claptrap comes in and just kills the plant, and unbeknownst to him, and just looking at it, going, somewhere somebody wrote that and went, "This is fucking brilliant.
Nailed it.
This is fucking good. Like, get the award speech ready now." But it's that kind of thing. You're just going, what type of movie do you think you've made here? Like, ugh. But yeah, they're in the sewers and they get to a room full of crates where they have to find the second key, and it's in there somewhere in Lilith, and there's fucking hundreds of these big giant crates, and Lilith walks by and she just finds it. She turns around and finds it.
Straight away,
How did she find it? I don't know.
Yeah, straight away, straight away, you're okay. I know the rest of the plot. That's it. I know the rest of the plot.
Yeah.
How did you find it amongst all the crates? She goes, I don't know. Just lucky, I guess. It's like, no.
Just like,
obviously that's not the case.
So bad.
It's and like before I think it's before they've gotten to that room, isn't it? That no, it's not. Maybe it's after. When does Kevin Hart do his fucking again? Trying to make stakes out of it, him staying behind to save everybody. You're like, there's
they get the crates, they get the key, and then there's a load of raiders that are living down these fucking sewers, and there's some fucking shoddy action scene between them. And it's one of these that even like we talk about the geography of fucking action scenes and stuff, because Zack Snyder just wrecks your head in that regard. But in this, it's just like Kevin Hart and Lilith are the only people that have guns and are shooting, with all these fucking raider guys running everywhere, and the rest of them are just kind of running away and trying to hide. So there's only two of them, but like it cuts to at one point, it's just it shows Kevin Hart for like 2 or 3 seconds, cuts back to Lilith, cuts back to Kevin Hart, and then when it cuts back to Lilith, she's just gone off and hidden in a crate and putting the lid on and everything so she can pop out and shoot people. Where'd you get the time to do that? Why are you doing that? That's not a good fucking tactical strategy. I think what happened there with the crate thing was that she had gotten some dude jumped at her and plowed into the crate, and then she came out at the top. I think. Oh right. Yeah. They come flying into the crate. Like I think she dragged them, or the two of them fell into the crate. And then when it cuts back to them, then she's up out of the crate with the guns. It wasn't like Jack in the Box, like she was hiding in there. But you're right about the geography, because they're in different places, but they all get back. They all get to this. And it looks like it's all filmed in one room, and this is one corridor and then one little small room that they've just filmed a load of different setups in. It's just like,
but it's supposed to be a sewer where shit's happening all over the place. And like you say, this dude is running everywhere. But they were in separate. They've all been separated and they're fighting each other. But all of a sudden, they're all there. They're all back at this elevator going, this is the way up. It's like, how did you all manage to fucking get back together again? There's no... Again, the geography is all over the shop. Yeah,
when they get to the lift, and it's just fucking movie trope central. They get to the lift and they're all in the lift, and then the wiring goes at the lift. Jamie Lee Curtis is like, oh, another wiring mishap. So Kevin Hart goes out, puts the wires together, and just puts a bit of tape around it, but then doesn't get back in the lift.
I don't get that.
You fixed it, the lift has gone on, and then he closes the door. He says, I'll meet you at the vault. Just like, there's no one there at that point. There's no raiders like they're around the corner. It's just like, just get in the fucking lift. What are you doing? Or you just want your action moment, and then he turns around and has his action moment that must have been in his contract. It's just like, and he mows down a hall full of fucking raiders who then all pile on top of him and overcome him. But
giant dudes, twice as tall as Kevin Hart.
Yeah. Kevin Hart
all
like
with big huge axes and shit.
But and then we cut to the lift, and trying to skip past this, but there's so much shit in this fucking movie. The lift is going up really fast, and it shows them all, and it looked like peak first season of Star Trek, when people are like, oh, inertial dampeners have failed, let's rock the camera a bit, everyone just does that kind of thing. It looked like the actors are doing that to try and sell the fact that this lift is flying up really fast. They're all just kind of moving. Oh my god. It just made me fucking belly laugh. And then I didn't really understand this. I mean, we get to it kind of later on, but the lift seems to fly up through the fucking ground, and then we cut to somewhere else, and they all just teleport in. And they're just like, oh, and someone goes, oh, we did a mystic teleport or whatever. And it's just like, what the fuck's going on? They asked, oh, Tina must have done that. that's a power that you have for some reason. She's like, I don't know. I just kind of did it with my mind. I'm not too sure. Just like I know they're trying to. This will all be explained later, but this is just stupid. Like it's the opposite of earlier on with Lilith finding the key and that foreshadowing of like, oh, what's going on? This is the opposite of it, where they just
they just tried to explain it. Like Jamie Lee Curtis tried to just explain it away because straight away they're like, how the fuck did that happen? And if it wasn't for Jamie Lee Curtis saying, oh, the son, the sort of daughter of Iridia or whatever, is able to do this teleporting thing. But if she wasn't there, they all would have been freaking out. Like, what the fuck just happened? How did we do this? And Tiny Tina wouldn't have said shit if it hadn't been said to her, oh, you did this. Because she's like, I don't know, it just kind of happened. Because, of course, she doesn't have a clue. Because no one has a fucking clue. If it wasn't for Jamie Lee Curtis filling that in. And it's just, and again, like you said, that it's to kind of hide away what they're going to tell us later on. But it's so badly done. Because surely she should have been, I didn't do that. Like, it just happened. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
annoying.
But what happens then? We find out like, we find out they had the third key all along, and it's the third key is Tina, and it's like, okay, what'll happen? You know, when she opens the gate or the vault, Jamie Lee Curtis tells Lilith like, the three pieces are consumed, so that I don't know if that means she dies, but you know, and Lilith is like, oh shit, that can't happen. You know, and then we go back to the sewer and. Yeah, Kevin Hart is alive and not a fucking not a scrape at him, which is great. And then when we go back and we find out that like Claptrap has repaired that transponder fucking thing. So Lilith then ends up, or Atlas, it's a little kind of holographic fucking thing. So Atlas, we see him and he's just like, oh, you know, that was a tracking device or whatever. You've led me right to Tina, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, another movie trope where Tina peers around the corner just at that moment where he's saying, thank you, Lilith, you know, you will be paid or whatever. She turns around, oh, you know, she says, sorry, Tina, I know that looks bad, but... And then Tina blows her up with another fucking teddy. Just how many teddies does this girl have? Like,
I think it was just a grenade this time. It was just a regular grenade, yeah.
She ran out with teddies.
Because she gave her last teddy, I think, to or one of her last teddies to Kevin Hart to throw with the bad guys.
So yeah, Lilith then wakes up and they've all gone. Just like, shit, they're gone to the fucking vault. So the others go to the vault and it doesn't open. And it's just, weirdest fucking vault thing. Like in terms of a movie script mechanic for this, it's like you put one key inside another one and put it down, and then there's two kind of little raised bits of concrete that you stand on, and if you how is that measured? Like what if you're wearing just weird shoes really fucking heels or like,
and how has no one spotted it for this many years? Like, I mean, it's because it's your man spots it, the Krieg spots this glowing thing on the ground and fucking smashes the yoke, and they wipe off a bit of sand as if it's a bit of sand that was like it's only been covered over yesterday. Like it's the tiniest bit of stuff, so much that he can see the glow through it. Yeah. This is supposedly an ancient civilization that's been buried for ages. That people all over come looking, and people come looking for this vault all over the planet and haven't been able to find it.
And this fucking
it's just a bit of dust. Just blow a bit of sand off. There it is. It's on the ground right there. And it's just, it's so lazy. Oh, it's unreal.
Lilith then gets on her bike and tries to get there as quick as possible to the vault, but she comes across someone that she sees that's very familiar, and it's her old home. And then for some reason there's a hidden message in Claptrap from her mother to her, which is just good place to hide that message on this weird little robot.
R2-D2 style, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's like
exactly, just like fucking ridiculous. That's when Lilith kind of goes, oh shit, okay. She kind of realizes that she is the daughter and it's not Tina, so she goes to she goes to stop Tina from trying to open the vault or something like that. And that's when all the big bad and the army arrive, and fuck me, this I thought from this moment on as if the rest of it was in any way decent, but this part is just, from a visual point of view, it's like they had 2 weeks to finish it, just fucking get it done, and someone going, but we have to do this, we have to turn Lilith into fucking this. It's just, what did you think about crescendo to this movie.
Oh, it's shocking, like, because we see how she remembers, first of all, before she goes back. Like, earlier on in the movie, when Jamie Lee Curtis is showing her all this shit, she shows her this sign of, like, a bird, like a bird on fire, like a phoenix type thing. And she's like, oh, I kind of remember that sign. And then when she's back in her yoke, and she's looking down and she sees that she had been drawn a picture of it and stuff when she was younger and had forgotten it. And this is what all the memories start flashing back. And she realizes, yeah, like you said, there's the recording message tells her, I had to send, I hope you're okay, but I had to, just keep you safe, and you have to be sent away, all this other bullshit. But like this whole last part, not only does it look fucking terrible, because as you said, she has to open the vault. She comes back, and this is the thing, right? I don't know how long they've known each other, but it's got to be days, right? And we know Lilith doesn't give a shit about anybody because she's this bounty hunter at the start, this badass. But she shows up, Atlas is there, and he says that he's got his army and his ship is just inside orbit. It's fucking there, big guns pointing down. He goes, I'll let all your friends live as long as you open the door. You know what I mean? And she's like, Grant. So she assumes she's going to get killed. But she actually says, please, will you let my friends live as long as I open the door for you? And he's like, yeah, all right, you have my word. I will. I'll let you live. So how the fuck are your friends? She threw a grenade at you a while ago. You've hated all of them from the very start. They haven't, as you said, they haven't done enough. Even those one-on-ones with Tina, there hasn't been enough in this to make a emotional connection at all. But yeah, it's awful. And I don't know, like, this whole part of her, she stands on it, and we think, as we've heard, that it's going to absorb her in. She's going to be the key. It's going to open the vault. Bad guy gets what he wants, and hopefully let the others go free, which obviously he probably would have killed them anyway. But instead, it turns her into this being, which is essentially the fucking Phoenix from X-Men.
Yeah, they got it. She's the Firehawk. Just like, what the fuck are you talking about now? Like,
yeah,
so it turns her into a fire, like Phoenix, bit
full on superhero,
flamed wings, and she just starts flying around and stuff like that, and just starts to try and kill everyone. But she can't get pat. Like, she's this fucking superhuman being at this point. But the big bad guy Atlas just has this amazing fucking shield. There's just like, you can't go through my shield, and his ship just can't get fucking through that either. So she can't get through that until she has to, when she goes, when eventually she kind of, it's almost like she just powers up in her own head. She's like, okay, well, that's not worked, and I need to save my friends.
Yeah,
so
she's like, getting blasted back a few
guys.
times.
Yeah, she got blasted back. So then she goes and she fucking destroys the ship. Yeah, and there's a moment where they kind of they end up in the vault with like Atlas takes Tina.
Before we do that, right, there is one other funny part. So she's trying to get the Atlas says kill them all. Tells us kill them all, a whole lot of them. And then the General Knox, Janina Gavin Carr, goes, no, delay that order. And she stands there and she's like, to Kevin Hart, it's a kind of real serious, I believe you were right. We can't fucking be killing this girl. Yeah. And you think like, oh God, are they all going to turn on Atlas? And then out of nowhere, she just explodes because the ship here shoots down this cannon and she just fucking vaporizes on this fucking spot. Yeah, and that was pretty cool. Yeah, that was cool.
You're kind of going just more at that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just that kind of that humor. It was interesting enough. But yeah, when they eventually, there's a standoff between Lilith and Atlas, who has taken Tina, and they're now in the vault, which is now this really dark, fucking large, dark room with kind of blue, crazy light and stuff. And obviously this is production hell through this movie because the lighting on Atlas and Tina is like this. It's a very noticeable. It's like an orange light, like they filmed it mimicking sunlight or something like that. But they're inside a dark black room with blue light, just like. Just figure out the color grade there. Just do something different.
Do you think they filmed it? Do you think they filmed it assuming that they were gonna have her still with her orange glowing wings? Because when they go down into it, her glowing wings are gone. So maybe they do that part going, okay, obviously we'll get the reflection of her wings in, and then...
But it's coming from the side, like...
Right, okay.
From the light. So I'm thinking that they filmed this with in a completely different location in mind for the visual effects. Just like light it from the side here because we're going to do it on the planet and the sun's going to be there, and just like... Yeah, actually, no, we're just going to do it in a black room with blue light. VFX guys going, oh, for fuck's sake, like...
What is the point in that? Like when they're down in that vault and he has a knife to fucking what's her name's throat, And you're looking around and there's like, isn't this vault supposed to be full of fucking cool technology? But it's also seems to be pyramids with like pyramids with light coming out of the top of them, and they've got little cubes suspended, like floating on them. And apart from that, the place is fucking empty. There's a big huge hole, but the whole place is just empty. It was like, where's all this cool technology and all this shit that's supposed to be in here?
You would be pretty pissed off if you spent like decades trying to find this in your last
and
breath.
he's like, it's amazing. But he says it, he's like, oh, it's amazing. It's like, no, it's fucking not. There's nothing down here. There's just...
It's just a cool blue room with kind of cool blue light, and it's got some monsters with tentacles down the bottom. But like Atlas is defeated, like fucking Tina just kicks him in the shin or something. It's just, and he gets knocked down, and then
because she's got mad because your one has got using her powers, her teleportation powers. She teleports in and she grabs his whatchamacallit, his yoke that he has in his belt, which controls his shield.
Yeah. And then she kicks him in the shin, and he goes, oh, and then just falls over, and some monster comes out of nowhere, tentacled monster thing, and just drags him into the depths. And you're going, okay, well, that's him gone. And that's great. And then we get the gang all sitting on a roof watching fireworks, as apparently the world is at peace now, and they're trying to sell this last scene that like, oh, we've been following these guys through thick and thin. The gang, this is it. This is our Guardians moment. Like,
and what
everyone
the fuck are they all
cares.
Celebrating like?
Haven't a fucking clue. So why is there firework? Like, I don't know. Why is there peace? What? Do we miss another 20 minutes
there's
of the movie?
A bunch of different factions and all these people who try to come down and mine it and rob stuff, and it's it's all corporations and shit, and Atlas is just one of them. So what are they all celebrating? I mean, why is there fire? They're trying to like do an end of Star Wars style thing where the Emperor is dead and everybody starts
they're
going.
Celebrating that they saved Tina or just did this.
Yeah, but why is there peace?
Why is the whole planet like celebrating with massive fireworks all over everywhere? Just like, it's just absolute fucking shit, just shit. And I think I'll just fucking end it there. I think it's just, this is
that's pretty much it. Yeah, there's one very last cringy part where she says to her, "Would you go do it?" She's like, "No." He's like, "Go on, do it." She goes, fine." And she stands up, Kate Blanchett, and she flies up into the sky, and she does her own big firework in the shape of this fire hawk, or whatever the fuck it's called.
I turned it off by then.
And then there's a little bit. There actually is a small little bit at the, like, it's not so much of a cutscene so much as Jack Black and as Claptrap doing something stupid before as the credits roll. I didn't stay for any mid or after credits thing. I just fucking turned it off. But
I didn't even make the credits. Like, once the fireworks are starting, I went, that's it.
Like
I'm done.
And there's nothing. Like, that whole last scene, that should have been the big action crescendo. Like, there's fuck all stakes to that, because as she's a superpower now, she's able to fling shields. She's like a healer in one of these, hero shooters. She flings shields at everybody to make them impervious to bullets. They've all got this glowing shit around them. So Kevin Hart's not taking any shots, and he's just fucking shooting everybody around him. There's no fucking stakes here anymore, because we know none of them are in danger. And then, like, they don't explain how exactly, like, he's controlling the ship, right? He has his hand, we can see, has some sort of like technology shit, like cyberpunk stuff on his wrist. But how is he doing? Because all he does is this really simple movements.
Flicks his wrist and it's fire.
Yeah, it manages to hit exactly who he wants to hit on the planet. And not just that he changes the rate of fire, because at the start it's missiles, but when she, becomes all supercharged, it's a constant beam. How did he know to target your one knocks in a split second? Like, it doesn't show any of that. And it's just this little thing on his wrist. And it's such simple movements. You just go and nodding it. It's like, this is fucking, whatever amount of meters away, and these people, how are you fitting individual people? It makes no sense at all. And I know it's a movie about a fucking random planet, blah, blah, blah. But within each of these crazy ass movies that we watch, there's always rules. There's rules to the universe that you're playing a part in. And this one, rules are all over the shop. They're just fucking making it up as they go along. And it is painful. Yeah, like and as much as I feel bad for the people involved and worked on it and all the rest of it, I'm glad it did bad, because otherwise we might have gotten a sequel. And it's I just thank God we won't, because it's fucking terrible.
And the fact that the whole video game to movies, video game to TV movement is on a steady footing now. It's not like, another bad movie or video game to movie.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
thanks to Fallout and Last of
Fallout
Us,
and
like-
Last of Us, and things are doing all right. So when this comes around, just going, okay, yeah, that's glad it's doing bad because hopefully no one will make something like this again.
Yeah, it's
One
just
star.
I'm just 1 star, and I just don't ever want to think about it again. I'm just glad
Yeah,
it's over.
it's not even a fun watch. Go watch Madam
Yeah.
Web instead.
Yeah. Madam Web is honestly is getting better day by day. It's
After The Crow on this, anyway, it fucking is.
Honestly, I watch it most days. No, I don't really. I've only watched it 3 times, but I have only watched it 3 times. But when we do some of these other movies, I'm like, yeah, Madam Web's better than that. Madam Web's better than that.
Well, hopefully next week will be good with Beetlejuice. So fingers crossed.
Yeah. I think Beetlejuice next week should be good. The reviews are fairly positive, I think, for the most part for it.
That's good.
Well, look, fair play, Daz, because I know that must have been torturous taking notes even for this movie. I think I took 2. So I can only imagine what it was like actually writing down the actual plot of this piece of shit. But fair play for getting through it. And fair play for all of you at home for listening and sticking with us throughout this episode, because what a bad movie. But yeah, thanks as always for everything you do with your watching, listening, and subscribing. Please keep doing that and spreading the word and all that good stuff. And if you have any suggestions of stuff you'd like us to cover or to mention on the show, get in there with that feedback, middleagedgeeks@yahoo.com. So from me and from Daz, we look forward to bringing you a decent movie next week. Thanks for stopping by. Take it easy.
Ciao.